we are. And here we are. And double checking because I didn't watch that the recording is going. Yes. Okay, this is a Finnish word. That's not proper. Let's change that to file form. This week we just had the Finnish version. This is the recap in English. We are talking about the new TMDL file format in Power BI Desktop. I will explain what it is and what makes it good for you to use if using professional development models. But first, how to get that available or in use is that you go to you open your Power BI Desktop, then you go to your file, options, settings, and options, and then to the preview features tab. And on the preview features tab, there are two options. I have a screen capture here because I'm not allowed to share the screen. There is an old option, like few months old option, which is a Power BI project save option. That means that instead of saving the Power BI Desktop file in one PBIX, you will save it into folder structure and multiple files. And then now, in the latest version of the Power BI Desktop, there is even more. So there is a subsection for saving this in a new TMDL format. I think they call it Tindle or Timdle or something like that, but TMDL format. And what does that mean is that when you save the Power BI report and model in TMDL format, it will actually save one file that describes where the report and the semantic model is. And so if you would open this one into the Visual Studio Code, for example, this is just a text file, it will describe that my report is in this folder, which is here, and inside the report we have a file that describes where is the data set for this report. So basically kind of this is how these two folders are being referenced. And now the new thing, before, like 2 weeks ago, when you saved it in the PPIP format, you didn't, first of all, you didn't have the new TMDL option. But now when you have the new TMDL option, you save the whole model in multiple files. Previously, it was just a one model.pim file, which for larger tabular models could be like 1 megabyte or something, kind of very huge anyway, and hard to maintain and very fragile if you did your own modifications or if multiple persons did modifications and you tried to merge those modifications together. But now, when using the TMDL format, we actually have each object on the model on its own file. So here on my model, if I take this one and then go to the model view, I have multiple tables. They are related. I have some measures here, and kind of tables and all that's good stuff. So here I have each table in its own file, and if I open a file, it describes that this is a table. It describes measures in an independent lines, and it describes columns, and at the end it describes the Power Query, what's used to import this table. But kind of the cool thing is that this is not JSON. JSON is a good format. That's not that's true, but it's very fragile if you have a JSON file, huge JSON file, and multiple people do changes next to each other. Now, kind of all of this code is split to multiple rows, a lot of rows, and you can just add a new measure here, and other person can do something else, and they can be merged, because there is no kind of internal structure which goes over the modification area. If you modify some part of the file, it's only that part that is kind of related. There is no need for going elsewhere, which in JSON file is not the case, because you could, for example, you have one measure, so then it's not an object. You have two measures, it's an array, and an array creates additional square brackets outside of the modification area. So kind of you get the point that it's not in JSON object model. It's much fragile because the changes are happening all over the file, not just where you are doing the modification. So with this file format, two people can easily modify two tables. Two people can easily modify one table, two different measures or something, because they are different lines in the file, and there is no like hash code or signing or something in the model. So basically, kind of you can just do your edit, commit to git, and it will work if the structure is just correct. The file format kind of formatting is so that if some property belongs to something, it's just indented a bit. So tab basically, kind of have a measure. Format string is a property of the measure, so that's why it's indented with one tab. I have a table, and this measure is part of the table, so that's why it's indented by one. So that's the kind of how you read the format. No commas at the end, no semicolons at the end, nothing like that. Then relationships is a good another example. If you have relationships in the model, as you hopefully do, then adding a new relationship, just 3 lines of code. This is just a metadata information telling that it's originated from the source, but kind of you can leave this away if you don't want that. It's just like this. Create a new GUID and from column to column. So for example, an easy way to add definitions or complexity to the model. When I submit to this to Git, and I have a Fabric workspace connected to the same repo, it says here that you have 2 new options or some modifications coming from the Git, and here it detects correctly that I have a report and I have a model. But as of today, in North European tenant or the region and where my tenant is, this one unfortunately fails. This has been failing like 2 weeks or something, even though Microsoft has a blog post that it should work, but it's because it tries to find the old TSML file format. So because this property is one of those. So the feature is not being enabled in the North European region. Could be that in your region it is already enabled, so it should work. But I even tried that. I created a new workspace yesterday evening, and kind of everything is completely new, and it didn't work. So it will work someday. But now when I have already 2 weeks said that next week we will cover this one, I decided that yes, I will do this now this week. But when it works, it will update the model, it will update the report to your workspace. And how kind of going forward it works, that the Power BI service will honor the format it was originally created. So when you use this new format, you do changes on the Power BI service, push them back to Git, it will still be in the same format. So kind of that's the way to go. But if you start creating your model in the Power BI service, or you publish your Power BI report with the publish button, then it will be in that old TSML format with the huge model BEM file. So kind of only way to get this on your development workflow is to begin with the Power BI Desktop and start kind of from there. Save it as a TMDL file and then or file structure basically, and then kind of push to Git and go from there. But then afterwards, the whole life cycle of the model, all the components will honor that, and it will be there. If you with Power BI Desktop, if you open file in the old format and you have enabled this preview feature, it will ask whether you want to upgrade your model to this format. And then when you do that, push that to Git, it should go again to the service. But that's it. It doesn't work on me, my instance, so I have not tested that functionality yet. To explain why it matters to have that in that format. The report part, so that was the model part that is in the new structure, but the report part is still on the old structure. So all the visualizations in your report are in the old structure. And here is a good example why it matters, why the new format matters, is that I have here a report where I have like 4 visualizations basically. And these visualizations are like huge JSON strings with all the properties and functionality written in one line. 2 people modifying this report, doing change in one of these properties, even though they would be different properties, would ruin the file because it could never merge the functionality. The merge works with lines, not individual characters. And then even on the kind of string itself, you have the embedded JSON format with all those kind of commas and square brackets and curly brackets and all that good stuff. So kind of it is very fragile to do kind of automated merging or multiple person editing or things like that, and then to get it really working. So I'm hoping that the same type of file format would also arrive to the report part of the file, but now it's on the model part of the file, and that's basically the TMDL format. Looking forward if you want to try it out because it really makes a lot of sense. Thank you.